All right, welcome to our show here today. My name is Charles Lykoff. I'm here with Madeline. She is a fractional CFO, and she is serving a very specific industry. So, I'd love to get into the conversation today. We're going to talk about a little bit about her experience. She worked with us. She's worked with multiple clients, how she's helped and impacted clients, as well as some of the things that she's learned along the way. So, if you haven't seen one of these before, hi, my name is Charles Lykoff, and I own Profit Surge Group. We help accountants, bookkeepers, financial professionals start, offer, and grow a profitable fractional CFO business. And I've also been a fractional CFO since 2017. So that's enough about me. Madeline, please introduce yourself. Tell us a little bit about you. I'd love to hear. I know you very well, but tell the audience a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, thank you for having me today, Charles. Like you said, my name is Madeline, and I am the owner of StageWise Financials. I started in this, I work specifically with home staging companies and started in this industry several years ago and joined a company as an employee and was just hired on as an administrative assistant and got into the company and just realized, like, wow, these women that were my bosses at the time are wonderful at what they do, and just getting into their systems, realizing, like, this is what we're deciding to charge, but how do we know that we're making money? And just kind of starting to ask questions like that and realized, like, oh, they don't really have the answers to these questions, and they're working so hard at what they do, 70, 80-hour weeks.
Jeez.
They're not even really sure if they're making money, and that was just um, pretty alarming to me. And so I just realized from there, like, this is where my efforts are going to be best spent, is figuring these things out. And so here we are years later, and that same company is now at a 40% profit margin. I actually am in the process of helping the owners exit the company, and just realized from there, like, there are probably other staging companies who are needing the same kind of help. And these owners started telling other staging companies about me and referring them to me, and I just realized, like, I can make an impact within this industry. I can do more than just being an employee. And so from there, kind of decided, like, okay, I am going to start a business and I'm going to be serving home staging companies. And then I started getting ads for this fractional CFO and how to start your fractional CFO company. I was like, what is this? This seems like a scam. And this guy named Charles kept telling me, you can charge $5,000 a month. I'm like, that's ridiculous. And later that day, had a sales call, and they asked, what's your price? And I told it to them, and they didn't hesitate and was like, all right, I am now going to be paying this guy because I will do whatever he tells me to do and will jump through whatever hoops he tells me to jump through. And yeah, that's how we've kind of gotten to today. So I didn't even have to pay Charles before he was providing me with awesome service. It was like, I have to know this guy and I have to learn from this guy. So
I appreciate the kind words. So let me start back from the beginning of this story. So you've been serving started out as an administrative assistant. You have a college degree, right? Okay, so you started out as administrative assistant in like a home staging company, and just so I can clarify, because until you came to us, I was like, I don't know what a home staging business is, and so essentially, it's when people go to sell their homes or real estate,
mhm.
people who set up the home and make it presentable for sale. So they put in rented furniture, maybe act as a liaison with some of the photographers, and provide a much better presentation of the home. Is that like a good understanding of that?
Yeah, yeah. Home staging is really a strategy. It's your marketing. There's a statistic that something like 80% of buyers can't envision themselves living in the home without the home staging. And so it's really, they're setting up this is the kitchen table that you're going to be eating breakfast every morning with your kids at. This is the bedroom that you're going to share with your husband for the rest of your life. Just all of those things. It really is just a strategy and a marketing. And it's a really cool industry. It's really interesting to work within.
Awesome. Okay. All right. I'm glad to hear that. I was going to say when I bought my last house, because they had the furniture there, I was like, I can see myself being here, being here, being there. And it's funny enough, I actually bought the home and I was like, leave the furniture. I'll pay you more, because they did a fantastic job with it. So that makes plenty of sense. So you started as administrative assistant. You're helping a home staging company, and it sounds like they didn't know how much money they were making. They didn't know how profitable they were. Sounds like they were working their tail off, and probably at the beginning it was like, for what, right? Like, where's the reward? When was the moment you were like, all right, I'm going to go from administrative assistant to how can I help these people make a better decision? Like what was it inside of you that was like, you know what? I want to do more. Cause not everyone is it like will see a problem and goes, I need to fix that. Cause that I mean that wouldn't have been part of your role. That wouldn't have been part of your scope. What inside of you was like, we should change that. I'm curious about that.
Yeah, you know what? I was raised by a business owner. I've been working since I was 12 years old, and I can't just be an employee. I just any business that I'm going to be in, I just think like a business owner. I'm very just I love efficiency and just smooth in every area of life, and so I can't just stand by and know there's things that could be doing better. And you asked when the moment, I would say the day I started and just realizing, like, wow, they are bringing in a lot of money and there's just not very many systems in place, and it just kind of and that's really what happens. People start and sometimes it's just a hobby, or they just start because staging or design really is their passion, and then it grows quickly and it's like, oh gosh, what do I do with this now? And so with oftentimes with just small business owners, they start really for that reason because they're just passionate about what they do, and that's awesome. But then not having the financial understanding can get you into a lot of trouble, especially when you're starting to hit six and seven figures.
But yeah, absolutely, right? Things can get, precarious quickly if you don't have the right guidance. So you came in, you were working with them, you're like, oh man, they need help. Um, I'm sure there's some experimenting, right, with different operations and learning the industry, and you probably did your own independent research, is an assumption. And you started helping them, and you realized that maybe you're providing a more consultative approach than you thought. You definitely expanded your scope from like what they hired you on as. Um, it sounds like before you saw some of our ads, you were like already helping them. When was the moment that you were like, oh, like you saw our ad, and then like what happened from there?
Yeah, and so I got to the point with them where I mean, there's always room to grow, but we just year after year kept reaching the goals and kept growing and getting better, and got to the point where the owners were really out of the business, and then more companies were coming to me as well. And so before that point, I am a mom. I've got two boys and I love doing that. Um, I did not imagine starting a business at this point in my life with 2 under 2, but
Okay.
this is where we're at, and, we are young, and we're just starting out, and we just really were living paycheck to paycheck, and we were so happy and content and realized there's something we can do to change this. We can continue on this way, or we can do something to change. And so just receiving these emails from other companies who were wanting to work with me, and just realizing like I can provide them, one off services or set up, a system for them. But then if they don't have anybody holding their hand and walking through this with them, like what value am I really adding? And so I just saw just a need for something more, but I wasn't really sure what that something more looked like until I started getting targeted by your ads and just realized, like, okay, this guy seems to know what he's talking about. And so I'm just going to take the jump and yeah.
When you so you saw you had an idea, you worked with a client, you know you can get a little bit of results, but you've only done it for one client. It's not like you did it for hundreds of them. You saw a Facebook ad was like, "Hey, fractional CFO, make $5,000 a month." It sounds crazy until you do it, and then you're like, "Oh man, what have I been doing for the longest time?" Um, so you saw that, and it came to your mind. What prompted you? You're like, "Hey, here's a call. Here's my first sales call that you probably jumped on. You're like, I don't know what to do." What made you say it'll be $5,000 a month, right? Like it could have been $2, it could have been $50 an hour, right? Like what made you think like this is what I'm going to do and this is what I'm going to charge? Like where did that come
Yeah, I think it was just realizing, like, one, um, I want to provide more value than take. And so just realizing, like, there is such a need here with that specific company that I know that I will pay for myself within a month of working with them and just continuing on. And so my desire truly was just I want to provide more value, and just knowing the level of help that was going to be needed, it was like, okay, I think this is reasonable. And it was scary and I wasn't completely sure. But
How
I said,
nervous were you when you're like, "It's 5,000?" I mean, I don't know how you said it. I'm
yeah.
totally guessing, but, like, how nervous were you when you said that?
But yeah, my voice, I'm sure, was shaking a little bit. I'm pacing my kitchen, walking around my kitchen table, and then my husband comes down after, and he's like, "You sounded really confident." I'm like, oh,
Thanks.
okay.
How did you feel after they said yes?
Like I just made a lot of money, more money than I've ever made in 1 month. And yeah, I felt pretty good. Like we were um, just heading in a new direction of life that we were um, just things would just be changing. I didn't know what that was going to look like exactly, but I knew things were going to be different from that moment on.
That makes a lot of sense. When I first started selling fractional CFO, it was, 2017. I had a corporate job, and my first fee was 7,500 a month, and I didn't know what to charge or anything, and I didn't have a business bank account or any of merchant process or any of that stuff set up, and I just blurted a number out. And when she said yes, after the shock of the first day, I just walked around work moving forward of like, oh, these people are suckers. Why would I do this? Um, Much younger Charles, right? Now it's like, okay, there's different spots. Entrepreneurship is for certain people. It's not risk profile, time of your life. Like if I'm having two brand new children, I have a job. I'm not leaving tomorrow, right? Unless I hate the job and I'm super confident I'm going to do all the work, right? Like so, there's different spots there. But my first thought was like, I think I just discovered like a cheat code. Like, do other people know about this? Like, did I, has everyone been doing stuff like this and I just hadn't heard about it before? Turns out they weren't. This is a relatively newish thing um, here. So you got the first client, you signed them on 5K a month, paying you. You learned some new skills. Sounds like you saw some ads and you maybe watched like a webinar of ours and then talked to someone on our team. And then you're like, hey, I want to give this a shot. It sounds like something worked for you and you're like, all right, I want more of that. Is that correct with my understanding or? Okay. What in particular? So I know we've been working together for a couple months now. You saw this, you got the client, you decided you wanted more. Like, what in particular about working with us like stood out to you? Like, tell me a little bit about your experience because you just finished your 90 days with us, and we doing some other education here. Like, tell me a little bit about your experience.
Yeah, definitely. So I think one of the biggest things for me was just really getting a solid offer. And I almost wish we would have started before I had that sales call because I realized after, like, wow, I I'm making a really great fee and I might have just signed myself up for a full-time job and all the things that I felt like I had to offer to be able to justify what I was going to be charging. And so then getting into the program and just realizing like I can create this really succinct offer that's going to be super valuable to the person that I'm serving, but it's also going to take me out of just being the doer and really realizing like they're hiring me for my brains and for the things I'm able to do for them. And so that's where my time and my energy is best put. And then just realizing how truly scalable um, this business can be, and I don't have to just help one or two companies because that's my only capacity, but if I wanted to I could be helping 10, 20, even 30 at a time, um, and just um, being able to get my reach out further because I haven't run across anybody in this industry doing the same thing that I am doing. And so I do kind of feel like I'm pioneering this within this industry. But truly, the program has just given me so much confidence. And I probably could have spent, I would say a couple years, but that would be a lie. I probably could have spent 5 or 10 years trying to, figure this out on the side. It's not, a full time job for me. This is more of a part time thing to be able to add extra income to our home. But just in learning more about what you did, I just realized like this guy's already figured it out. So what is my time worth? Am I really going to try to spend all these years trying to figure this all out for myself? Or am I just going to listen to the guy who seems like he knows what he's talking about? And in my time in the program, I realized like that was absolutely true. It was 100% the best investment that I could have made in myself and in my business. And it just truly brought so much value and just just the education all around. Even if every single thing I learned didn't directly apply to my business, I'm helping other businesses. And so some of that education, it's, I don't need this per se, but I can apply it to somebody else's business. And yeah, super valuable.
Awesome, awesome. I think when we look at the fact that, like, you took a leap, we worked together, right? You understood that there's, like, learning for the long time. Um, Oftentimes people will think, "Oh, I can order it myself," and you can teach yourself anything. We never we never get to press skip, like, we still have to do the learning,
Hmm.
but man, does it feel good to press fast forward, and that's working with someone who's been doing it a little bit longer than you, right? Or maybe a little bit better, because longer is not always the word, because there's people who've been doing something and don't have success, and they've done it for a long time, right? So there's time, there's length, and there's a specific skill, and the way we show people how to do and sell and offer fractional CFO, as you can see, like, it just made sense. Like, you saw the ad and you're like, "Makes enough sense, let me try that," and then you got and you're like, "Okay." So, usually when we work with people, we work with people who are usually ex-CFOs, we work with people who are bookkeepers, we work with people who are CPAs and own accounting firms. Usually people come to us because 'cause they're like, "You know what? I'm earning $15,000 a month and I wanna earn $90,000 a month," right? It's typically who we serve is about there. Sometimes people who are doing 5 million a year wanna get to 7. Some people, it's like people who are just starting out. For you, right? You're a mom of 2, you have 2 under 2, is that correct? Right, you're doing great, for that then, and your whole goal was, "How do I make an extra 5 to $10,000 a month?" Possibly more, but in all of our time together, the thing that you always said was most important to you is, "I wanna spend time with my 2 kids. I've got, what, 10, 15 hours a week that I can spend at work, and I want those to be the best 10 to 15 hours, earn as much as possible." But that usually sets you apart because usually people we work with are working a lot more, usually have, a little bit bigger of a business or maybe more experience, um, and usually have a bigger goal. But for you, it was your goal wasn't necessarily income. It was, how do I make sure I can get the most out of my time so I can spend it with my kids, with my husband that I enjoy, that you enjoy, while still earning a good living with that maybe 10 to 15 hours a week. Tell me a little bit about that because you're not the average avatar. And that's why I wanted you to come on here and, like, learn a little bit more about your experience, because I find it so interesting that um, sometimes people who have a little bit more experience or in a little bit different stage of life are afraid to take the leap, and you weren't afraid to take the leap, and it's paid off awesome for you. So I just want to hear a little bit about, like, your mindset, especially when it comes to, like, serving your family and like the time versus money thing for you.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, you said it. I am a mom, and my desire is for my family. And I thought when we were starting a family that I wouldn't be working. I was just planning on spending the next 20 to 30 years just raising babies and homeschooling and doing that thing. And that was truly my desire. And it just, that time kind of came and just realized this isn't an option for us right now, and that's okay. Um, but I also don't just want to be making $25 an hour when, there's it just yeah, that just it wasn't enough for me. If I only have 10 to 15 hours a week to work, at just $25 an hour wasn't cutting it. So when I realized I could be making $1,000 an hour, it's like, what else can I be doing where I would be making that much? Like, it sounds ridiculous and so untrue, but I have found it to be very true. And so it has freed us up. And when I started this, I was making nothing. And just in starting the program at $60,000 a year from just one client. And it was like, this is what I'm able to do. I just, it just is unreal to me. And I'm so beyond thankful that Charles didn't just decide, I figured out how to do this within my niche and I'm just going to do that, but truly wanted to share that education with others. And this is what you can be doing for others too. And so I'm just so thankful for that. But I mean, I am working the same amount and I am making so much more. It's completely changed our family's lives.
And say you have that one client, you're doing the 60K a year, right? Maybe you don't, maybe if you can do 10 or 20, maybe you got to hire a team or whatever. Maybe it's like that and the bookkeeping, right? But if we have 2 fractional CFO, 2 or 3 bookkeeping, there's a world where you can stay under that 10 to 15 hour mark, maybe making 150, 200 might be kind of hard. You might be need to get really good at delegating, which I'm sure you can figure out. But at least 100 working 15 hours a week, I mean, that sounds like most people's dream. And you're planning on homeschooling your children? Okay, like, that's my sister has a a lot of children, and then she does that, and I can she's always told me like, "Oh, I wanna pick up a side, hustle or side hobby," and she ended up writing a cookbook, which became a bestseller wildly enough. But to her, if she had, like, a financial skill or something like that, um, I can imagine it would be way more powerful, right? So I appreciate your focus on the family because most people come to us, they're like, "I wanna earn this." It's like, that's great, but you wanna spend time with the family. Was there anything in particular, like, when we've worked together that, like, really was helpful? Like, or maybe something that was surprising, in our time spent together?
Rising. Yeah, I mean, when I signed up, I wasn't quite sure what I was getting myself into. I just knew I need more of this guy. I need to be able to spend time with this guy and be in the same room as this guy. He knows what he's talking about. He's been doing exactly what I want to do, and I could just tell from the webinar that I did. Like, this is a guy that truly cares about the people that he's serving. And that's what matters to me. Like, if I'm going to be in these companies, I want to provide them the absolute best service that I can. I don't want to just ask somebody to pay me and then not really be able to provide them the value that I'm promising. And so just coming and realizing, just with all of the knowledge that you had shared, like I can do more. Like, I know kind of this base level that I've learned just from being in this industry and learning on the job, but I can do even more with this from the things that you taught. And so just overall, the whole education, getting to spend 3 months with a guy who's doing exactly what I want to be doing. And so I want to learn from somebody who's doing the thing that I want to be doing. And so in choosing you, it was, this guy's doing what I want to be doing and he's doing it well. And so I was honestly surprised by just how much I got out of it. Like, just from the first ad, and okay, an extra $60,000 this year. I'm like, this, it's paid for itself. We're good. But just to come through, and it just, the confidence really, like, I went from like, I know some things about finance to like, no, I am a strategic partner in this. I am joining you in your business and I'm going to be your partner and I'm going to hold your hand. And you don't have to lack clarity anymore. Like, let's do this together. And so just to be able to leave a business owner just feeling empowered about their business. They're not scared anymore. They're not laying awake at night like, oh, I just don't know, like, if I can even make payroll next month. But just having that confidence in the numbers, to be able to give them that confidence, I have to be confident in myself and what I'm doing. And so I just was surprised really by that, just the confidence that I'm walking away with, knowing like I can make a difference, is just really powerful for me.
Yeah, having the confidence to be able to offer these additional services and change business owners' lives, right, is one of the biggest joys that I have, like, being a fractional CFO, right? I get to help people change their life and, same thing with people like you, right, who are more of the accountants, bookkeepers, prior CFOs who are wanting to help other people. It's really, really cool, right, to see you go through that change here. If you never started on your fractional CFO journey, right, and if you never started working with us, like, where do you think you'd be?
Living paycheck to paycheck.
Not anymore though, right?
Not anymore.
That's awesome. I love it. That is amazing. If there's anyone that's, like, on the fence about working with us or maybe even having a conversation with us, like, what would you tell them?
Just do it. I mean, you have absolutely nothing to lose in investing in yourself and investing in your education. It just, as business owners, it's so typical to just get caught in the day to day of your business. You're just working in your business that you forget you need to be working on your business too. And so you can continue on, just working 80-hour weeks and just trying to figure it out as you go. But if you're not taking the time to stop and really be intentional in your business and think through your business and the direction you want to go in and making steps to get there, like nothing is going to change for you. You know, you might continue to grow, but are you truly scaling your business? And so just in working with you, that's really what they're going to be getting. They're going to learn how to work on their business and truly just scale and not continue to just get by their teeth, is really what I would say.
Thanks for that so much. Now, before we go, if someone wants to get a hold of you, say they're looking for a fractional CFO for their home staging business, right? Or maybe if you've rolled out to other industries at the time, because I know you've set your sights in other industries as well. Where's the best place that they can get a hold of you?
Yeah, so you can reach me on my Instagram at it's Stage Wise Financials. That's WISE Wise Stage Wise Financials.
Okay, gotcha.
Okay,
So if they
gotcha.
want to get a hold of you, shoot you a message on Instagram at StageWise Financials, right? Perfect. Well, thank you so much for being here. I'm super grateful for you here, for your experience working with you over the last couple months, getting to know you, helping you sign on clients. Like it's been an absolute joy. If you're here and you're like Madeline and you want to grow your own fractional CFO firm, if you're curious about it, go ahead, check us out on Instagram at Profit Surge Group, or go ahead to profitsurgegroup.com/hello and take a look at what we have there and book a call with me or my team. And we'll talk about what it looks like to grow your own fractional CFO business or get more clients. So I appreciate you guys being here. That is it for now. I'll see you later.